Imagine a land so vast it functions as its own planet. A place where the earth is stained a deep, ancient red and the oceans shimmer with colors you didn't know existed. Welcome to Australia. This isn't just a country, it is a continent of extremes. It is a place where the modern world clings to the edge of a wild, untamed interior, where rainforests collide with reefs and silence is as loud as the crashing waves. In this journey, we are going to travel the circumference of this great southern land. We will dive into the kaleidoscope of the Great Barrier Reef, stand in the shadow of the sacred Uluru, and lose ourselves in the vibrant laneways of Melbourne and the golden shores of the Gold Coast. Did you know that Australia is the finest example of isolation on Earth? Because it broke away from Antarctica millions of years ago, life here evolved in a complete vacuum, creating creatures and landscapes found literally nowhere else in the universe. So, take a deep breath. We are about to explore the wonders of the land down under. We begin where the land meets the Pacific, in a spectacle of sandstone and light. Sydney. It is impossible to talk about this city without talking about its harbor. Geographically, it is a drowned river valley, a maze of bays and headlands that forces the city to constantly look at the water. When you stand at Circular Quay, the energy is palpable. To your left, the harbor bridge arches like a steel spine connecting the north and south. To your right, the Opera House sails catch the sunlight, looking less like a building and more like a sculpture carved by the wind. But the real magic of Sydney isn't just in the icons, it's in the ferry ride to Manly, where the salt spray hits your face as you cut across the swell. It's in the coastal walk from Bondi to Coogee, where the Pacific Ocean crashes against cliffs that have stood for millennia. There is a confidence here, a feeling that life is meant to be lived outdoors, under the sun. It is a city that feels both incredibly modern and deeply connected to the ancient sandstone it rests upon. Leave the city behind and travel north, where the ocean transforms into something otherworldly. This is the Great Barrier Reef. It is the largest living structure on Earth, a 2,300-kilometer spine of coral that is so vast it can be seen from space. But to truly understand it, you must slip beneath the surface. The moment your head goes under, the noise of the world above disappears. It is replaced by the rhythmic sound of your own breathing and a visual explosion. It feels like entering an alien metropolis. You are surrounded by a kaleidoscope of colors, electric blues, vibrant yellows, and deep purples, as thousands of fish move in shimmering clouds around you. We watched a green sea turtle glide past, ancient and serene, completely indifferent to our presence. Reef sharks patrolled the deeper channels, shadows against the white sand. It is a humbling experience to drift over these coral gardens. You realize you are just a temporary visitor in a complex, fragile, and incredibly beautiful universe that has existed for millions of years. It is a place that demands silence and pure wonder. If Sydney is the sun-bronzed showstopper, Melbourne is the cool, sophisticated intellectual. Drifting south to Victoria, you enter a city that feels European in its rhythm, but distinctly Australian in its spirit. Melbourne is not a city that reveals itself all at once. It asks you to look closer. The heartbeat of this city lies in its laneways. Walking down Hosier Lane, you are surrounded by walls thick with street art. A constantly changing canvas of spray paint and expression. The air here smells of rain on pavement and, inevitably, the rich, dark aroma of roasted coffee. Because in Melbourne, coffee isn't just a drink, it is a religion. We spent hours just getting lost in the grid. You turn a corner down a nondescript alley and stumble upon a world-class restaurant behind a dumpster, or a jazz bar hidden behind a bookshelf. The weather is famously moody. They say you can experience 4 seasons in one day here, but that is part of the charm. It forces you inside, into the galleries, the cafes, and the trams that rattle through the streets like old friends. It is a city of layers, of hidden secrets, and of deep artistic soul. Head back north, across the border into Queensland, and the energy shifts instantly. Welcome to the Gold Coast. This is where the concrete jungle meets the rolling surf in a way that seems almost impossible. It is a vertical city rising straight out of the sand dunes. As you stand on the beach at Surfer's Paradise, the view is striking. Behind you, a wall of shimmering glass skyscrapers reflects the morning sun. In front of you, the Pacific Ocean stretches out, endless and blue, roaring with some of the best waves in the world. There is a permanent sense of summer here. The air is thick with salt and sunscreen. It is a place built for pleasure, for long days on the sand and neon-lit nights. But there is a secret here that many miss. Turn your back on the ocean and look west. Just a short drive away lies the hinterland. Ancient rainforests and waterfalls that feel a million miles from the high-rises. We drove up to Mount Tamborine and watched the city skyline glitter in the distance as the sun went down. It is a stunning contrast, the glitz of the Strip against the silence of the mountains. The Gold Coast is loud, it is bright, and it is unapologetically fun. Return to the south, where the continent ends in a dramatic clash of stone and sea. This is the Great Ocean Road. It is more than just a drive. It is a pilgrimage along the edge of the world. Carved by returning soldiers after the First World War, this asphalt ribbon hugs the coastline, twisting and turning around sheer cliffs that drop straight into the Southern Ocean. The wind here is fierce. It travels uninterrupted from Antarctica, carrying a chill that cuts through you, reminding you of the isolation of this place. But the journey leads you to a site that defies logic, the 12 Apostles. These massive limestone stacks rise out of the boiling surf like sentinels of a lost empire. They were once part of the cliffs, but thousands of years of wind and waves have carved them free. Standing on the viewing platform, you feel small. The sound is deafening, a constant rhythmic roar as the ocean hammers the stone. You watch the water turn from deep indigo to churning white foam as it hits the rock. It is a violent, beautiful process of erosion happening right before your eyes. You realize that you are looking at a landscape that is dying and being reborn all at once. Leave the coast behind entirely. We are traveling inland, deeper, until the green fades away and the earth turns the color of rust. We are in the red center. And rising from the flat spinifex plains is a silhouette that every traveler knows, yet no photo can truly prepare you for. Uluru. It is overwhelming. A single, massive monolith of sandstone that glows as if lit from within. At sunset, we watched the rock change color, shifting from a rusty orange to a burning crimson, and finally a deep, bruised purple as the light faded. But this is not just geology. You can feel the spirituality here. For the Anangu people, this is a living, breathing ancestor. Walking around the base, you see the caves, the water holes, and the ancient art. You lower your voice instinctively. Just to the west lie the domes of Kata Chuta, the many heads. They feel like a huddle of sleeping giants. There is a profound silence in this desert. It is a silence that rings in your ears. Standing here, you feel the immense age of this continent. You realize you are standing on land that has been watched over and cared for 60,000 years. Just a short journey west of Sydney, the world drops away. You are standing on the edge of the Blue Mountains. The air here is different, crisp, cool, and scented with eucalyptus. And that famous blue haze? It's real. It comes from the oil evaporating from millions of gum trees, scattering the sunlight and painting the valleys in a soft, azure mist. We stood at Echo Point looking out at the Three Sisters. These three weathered sandstone peaks stand guard over the Jameson Valley, glowing gold in the late afternoon sun. Below them, the forest floor stretches out like a green ocean, unbroken and wild. It's easy to think of Australia as flat and dry, but here it is lush and vertical. We hiked down the giant stairway, descending nearly 1,000 steps into the valley floor. The deeper you go, the quieter it gets. The sound of tourists fades, replaced by the call of lyrebirds and the trickle of hidden waterfalls like Wentworth Falls. It feels ancient down here. Ferns the size of cars unfurl in the damp shadows. This isn't just a view. It is a wilderness that invites you to get lost in its depths. It is a place that feels untouched by time. Now, imagine a place where the colors are so vivid they look photoshopped. We are back in the tropics, sailing through the Whitsunday Islands. It is a chain of 74 islands dropped into the heart of the Coral Sea. Most of them are uninhabited, covered in dense green rainforest that tumbles right down into water of the most electric turquoise you have ever seen. But the crown jewel here is Whitehaven Beach. Stepping onto this sand is a sensory shock. It is 98% pure silica. It is blindingly white, soft as talcum powder, and famously, it doesn't hold heat. You can walk barefoot even in the scorching midday sun, and it feels cool under your feet. We hiked up to the Hill Inlet Lookout. From here, you see the magic happen. The tide shifts, swirling the white sand and blue water together into a living painting of marble. It is constantly changing, never the same view twice. It feels like a dreamscape. There are no buildings here, no roads, just the jungle, the sand, and the sea. It is, quite arguably, the most beautiful beach on the planet. Moving south along the Queensland coast, we arrive at the river city, Brisbane. Unlike the coastal cities that look outward to the ocean, Brisbane looks inward, wrapping itself around the looping bends of the Brisbane River. It is a city that embraces the heat. The architecture is open, airy, designed to catch the breeze. We walked along the South Bank parklands, under the canopy of magenta bougainvillea. It is rare to find a city with a beach in the middle of its downtown. But here, the man-made lagoon glitters right across from the skyscrapers. The atmosphere is incredibly laid back. It feels like a big country town that grew up into a metropolis, but never lost its smile. But what truly defines Brisbane is the light. As the sun sets, the Story Bridge lights up, casting neon reflections onto the dark water below. The ferries, known as city cats, glide silently back and forth. It is a city of outdoor dining, of humid nights, and of waking up early to beat the sun. It is the gateway to the tropics, and it hums with the youthful, optimistic energy that is impossible to resist. Fly further north, and the world turns technicolor green. This is Cairns. You feel the tropics the moment you step off the plane here. The air is heavy. It wraps around you like a warm blanket, thick with humidity and the smell of wet earth and sugarcane. Cairns sits in a precarious, beautiful position. To the east, the Coral Sea and the Great Barrier Reef. To the west, the dark, cloud-covered mountains of the Great Dividing Range. It feels like a town living on the edge of the wild. We walked the esplanade at low tide. The mud flats stretch out for miles, teeming with bird life. It is a strange, captivating landscape. You won't find white, sandy beaches in the city itself. Instead, you find a massive saltwater lagoon where travelers from every corner of the globe gather to cool off. There is a buzz of anticipation here. Everyone you meet is either coming back from an adventure or about to start one. It is the jumping-off point for the Daintree rainforest, the oldest jungle on Earth. Cairns isn't just a destination, it is a portal. It is where civilization ends and the true, untamed Jurassic wilderness begins. Now we must cross the entire continent to the far west. You are now in the most isolated capital city on the planet. This is Perth. To get here, you have to fly over thousands of kilometers of red desert. When you finally hit the coast, the contrast is blinding. Perth sits on the edge of the vast Indian Ocean, bathed in a light so bright and clear, it feels like high definition. The city is defined by the Swan River. It is a massive, shimmering sheet of blue that widens like a lake as it flows past the glass towers of the CBD. We climbed up to Kings Park, one of the biggest inner-city parks in the world. Standing there, amongst the strange shapes of the baobab trees, you look down at the city. It feels incredibly open. There is space here. The air is dry and hot, smelling of dried grass and sea salt. But the real show happens at the end of the day. Unlike the East Coast, the sun sets over the ocean here. We sat on the white sands of Cottesloe Beach as the sky turned into a burning canvas of orange and violet. The sun dipped below the horizon, sizzling into the sea. Perth doesn't feel lonely despite its isolation. It feels exclusive, like you've discovered a secret paradise that the rest of the world is too far away to bother with. Travel back to the East Coast, to a place where time seems to deliberately slow down. This is Byron Bay. It sits on the absolute edge, the easternmost point of the Australian mainland. This is the first place in the entire country to greet the morning sun. There is a magnetic pull to this town. It was once a sleepy dairy village, then a hippie enclave, and now it is the bohemian heart of the coast. We woke up well before dawn to make the pilgrimage up to the Cape Byron Lighthouse. Standing on that cliff edge, watching the sun break the horizon, is spiritual. You see the ocean turn from black to liquid gold. Far below us, we watched pods of dolphins surfing the waves completely free. But the magic of Byron is on the ground. At the pass, you watch longboarders glide effortlessly across glassy waves that seem to last forever. The town hums with a specific energy, a mix of barefoot surfers, artists, and people looking to escape the rat race. As the sun sets, the sound of drum circles rises from the beach. It is a place that asks you to take your shoes off, breathe a little deeper, and just be. They call it the Byron Bubble, and once you are inside, you never want to leave. Just off the coast of Queensland lies a geological miracle. This is Gari, also known as Fraser Island. And here is the mind-bending fact. Everything you see here, the towering forests, the hills, the lakes, is built entirely on sand. It is the largest sand island in the world. There are no paved roads here. The moment you drive off the barge, you deflate your tires and hit the sand. We drove along 75 Mile Beach, a literal highway made of sand, with the ocean crashing on one side and dunes on the other. We passed the rusted skeleton of the Mahino shipwreck, slowly being reclaimed by the salt and the sea. But the real wonder is inland. We hiked into the interior, into the Valley of the Giants. To see massive satinate trees growing hundreds of feet tall straight out of the sand dunes is something that shouldn't be possible. It is the only place on Earth where tall rainforest grows on sand at this elevation. And then, there are the lakes. Lake Mackenzie sits perched high in the dunes. It is filled entirely by rainwater. The water is so pure, it supports almost no life. It is just a mirror of crystal blue, ringed by silica sand wide enough to blind you. Gari means paradise in the local Butchula language. Standing here, you understand exactly why. Now we fly south. Further south than we have ever been. To an island off an island. Welcome to Tasmania and its brooding, beautiful capital, Hobart. This is Australia's second oldest city, and you can feel the weight of history in the sandstone warehouses of Salamanca Place. It sits on the edge of the Derwent River, tucked under the massive, intimidating shadow of Mount Wellington. There is a wildness in the air here. The wind comes straight from Antarctica. It is brisk, clean, and bracing. Hobart doesn't have the tropical heat of the north. It has fireplaces, whiskey distilleries, and dark, moody winters. We drove to the summit of the mountain, Kunanyi. From up here, the city looks like a toy village scattered along the water's edge. To the southwest, you see nothing but jagged peaks and wilderness stretching to the horizon. Hobart is also the gateway to the strange. We took the ferry upriver to Mona, the Museum of Old and New Art. It is a subterranean fortress carved into the sandstone cliffs, shocking, provocative, and totally unlike any museum in the world. Hobart feels different. It is quieter, darker, and more introspective. It is a city that embraces the cold and turns it into something cozy and profoundly cultural. Our final stop takes us back to the wild southern coast of Victoria. This is Phillip Island. It is a rugged, windswept place where the land fights a constant battle with the Bass Strait. The coastline here is brutal, black basalt cliffs pounded by waves that have traveled thousands of miles. We walked along the boardwalks at the Knobbies, watching the blowhole erupt with spray. But as the sun begins to set, the entire island holds its breath. We gathered on the beach at Summerland Peninsula, huddled against the cold wind, waiting. And then, it happened. The penguin parade. Out of the dark surf, hundreds of tiny shapes appeared. Little penguins, the smallest in the world, waddling up the beach in groups, shaking off the water. They are returning home to their burrows after days at sea. They are completely wild. They ignore the hushed crowd, focused only on finding their mates and their chicks. You hear the calls, a high-pitched chorus rising from the dunes. Seeing these tiny, resilient creatures survive in such a harsh environment is deeply moving. It is the perfect end to our journey. Here, on the edge of the dark ocean, you are reminded that despite our cities and our roads, this land still belongs to the wild. Australia is not just a place you visit, it is a place you feel. From the burning red dust of the Outback to the neon blue of the Great Barrier Reef. From the ancient silence of the rainforests to the crashing roar of the Southern Ocean. This is a continent of extremes that defies every expectation. It is a land where the oldest living culture on Earth coexists with vibrant modern cities. It is a place that challenges you to disconnect from the noise and reconnect with the raw, untamed power of nature. We hope this journey has sparked a fire in your imagination and added a few new spots to your bucket list. If you enjoyed this adventure, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so we can take you to more hidden corners of this beautiful planet. Which of these Australian wonders is calling your name? Tell us in the comments below. The world is wide and life is short. The only question left is, when will you start your journey?